Okay, let's take a trip, y'all. Let's take a trip inside the female frequency. So later on, my BFF, YogaTara, is going to join us to talk about the channeling the divine. And I just want to reiterate, like everything starts with a frequency, like your feelings, your body, your intuition is sending and receiving signals. So, like, which one do you tune into? Which one do you trust? So, inside this episode, we're exploring intuition, not necessarily as some mysterious sixth sense, but as a refinement past your organs of perception, because it's a magnification of what your body already knows. So, think about it. So, just like water bends or magnifies, or a prism that splits light into colors, your perception, when attuned, can reveal the layers of truth that logic can't even touch. So we got Goddess over here, got Venus of Willendorf. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Like, just as water magnifies, right? Like when you start tuning in, or that prism that reflects and refracts and shows you colors, your body can show you exactly your truth as well. For those of you who have been reading my newsletter, and you can go ahead and sign up to my newsletter on my website, thefemalefrequency.com. I shared with you an episode of my life that was truly instrumental. When I was 23, I knew I just had to go to see an archaeological dig of Lady Di. This was a woman that was buried and was revered as a cosmic traveler from the Han Dynasty. So when I saw her funerary objects, and one of them was a beautiful silk scroll, I knew I had to go. I had to see that in person. Now, some of you may be like, this is a past life coming up. Well, yeah, of course it is. And that's where my truth is coming from. But at the time, I just knew I had to go see it, and I had to take the journey to go there. And it was because of everything that I was feeling inside my body. Today, I mean, we can talk about the mental health crisis, and it's really like an emotional crisis because we aren't taught to read our own body, right? Like, I think, therefore I am. No, I feel, therefore I am. So when I was on this trip, I was 23. I was traveling solo. You know, in hindsight, I know that I wasn't alone. I know that I was solo, but I knew that the divine was with me. I am the divine. I was going on this pilgrimage to go see a female figure that had been mummified with the utmost care. Like even her organs were preserved. It was amazing. Now, this journey took me at 23 from Seattle to Changsha, China, to this archaeological dig to see these artifacts. And there it was. Like, I got to be with that silk scroll, her ascension story. Even the guards, like, let me have the room to myself because I just bowed down and revered what I was had been done, what I was seeing. Tears were streaming down my face, out of my eyes, down my face. And I wasn't judging myself. I was just letting it happen. And then there was like a huge epiphany of joy that happened thereafter. But I share all of this because there is a sense of knowing with the organs of perception, and then continued on to lifting myself into that energetic body, that I knew that I was on the right path. I knew that I was in my highest frequency going there and seeing that. And then I could explore my life in another way because I followed that spiritual path. So let's talk about that path and get a little bit more information from another one of my BFFs. She's going to join us, YogaTara. And we recorded this at an earlier time because she couldn't join me at this exact time. So hang on one second and I'll cue up this part, and I'll see you in I'll see you inside. YogaTara, you asked me the other day because I was so excited to tell you that I had full body chills. And you were like, well, what does that mean to you? And I was like, YogaTara, you've known me for a long time. I'm like, of course it means, but as things change and you become more aware within your own body,
Mhm.
what I learned from you asking me that question again was I I know there is a knowing that I'm on the right path. I'm doing what the divine wants me to do here. I'm on that right path is really all I can answer is I know I'm doing something right.
Mhm.
And I'd love for you to come in from your angle with these organs of perception and interpreting what that means. Because when I say I'm on the right path, I feel like I'm in my highest frequency.
Hmm. Yes, it's such a great question. And I think what we're talking about, so from a yogic point of view, we understand the organs of perception are called the Gyanindriyas, the way through which we receive knowing and information. And they're five, right? They're the five senses. But we also have what you were talking about was these inner sensations and an inner language of perception, which is more subtle almost, right? And it's your own inner compass that allows you to know, oh, I'm on the right path. This feels right. And so we each have an own inner language of knowing. And our job is to be able to figure that out, but also trust it.
Yeah, because we aren't really taught how to trust our emotional language.
No. And emotions are our biology, right? So they are physical sensations that happens and they can be they give us direction. They're part of our inner compass that helps us figure out what's good, what's not so great, what's a good fit, what's not a great fit, right? Does that make
Yeah.
sense? And so um, in yogic practice, what we're learning to do is to refine our senses, even refine our outer senses and refine our awareness. The whole point is to become increasingly aware, to have more clear vision, and to be the observer of what is coming in through our organs of perception, and to also open our inner eye and see what's happening within in relation to that.
Mm, mm.
So I'm aware externally, oh, I'm receiving this through my organs of perception. And then I'm opening my inner eye, right? An inner perception to see also what's happening in my perception internally.
And you have a podcast that's called Radio Bindu, and I love that for so many reasons because, like in the Kabbalah, translates to receiver, and like our bodies
Yes,
are the radio in
yes,
which we were receiving. So,
yes.
what is like the yogic interpretation of that surrender or that Sanskrit?
Um, so similarly, if you look at like yoga physiology, what we understand is that at our core, we're pure awareness. That's our
Mm.
true essence. And that pure awareness, consciousness, Atman, right, is said to actually reside in the physical pranic body around the heart. But it's a pure awareness having an experience as a human being on different levels. We're having an experience through a physical body, we're having an experience through a mind, through thoughts and feelings, we're having an experience through energy, prana, and also through intuition, which is different from the mind. It's different from intellect. And then we're having, they all say we also have a bliss body, which is the more refined and closest to our true state. And our what's unique about being human, therefore, is, and through yogic practice, is that we are attempting to purify and refine each of those dimensions so that we can become conscious of the fact that we are vessels of that consciousness. And that individual consciousness is a fraction of the higher consciousness, or what we might call the divine. So that is our true nature. We're not a body having a spiritual experience. We're a consciousness or a fraction of the divine exploring this time-space dimension through a body, mind, energetic field, through intuition. And so a lot of our practice gradually as we go through it is to surrender to that and to understand that, okay, how can I be a receptacle and a vessel for that energy to come through? And that's actually the end point, you could say, of the the um, limb of yoga that's called Bhakti Yoga, the yoga of the heart. And so that surrender is often called Atma Nivedan, to surrender to the spirit. And we do that through various means, but um, it's that experience. It's not just an intellectual understanding that we are one and we are receiving and being, what would you have me do? What would you have me say? What would you have me express?
Yeah, I feel like that was another trip that you and I have experienced together is witnessing artists like in Nepal right before they commence.
Mhm. So I'm not an artist myself, I would say classically trained. So from as a spectator and being in that culture for over 20 years, um, what I know about South Asia, so India, Nepal, where I've been exposed, is in the classical arts, it is understood that the artist is understands themselves as a conveyor of the energy of the higher being. So for many, it's Saraswati, who is the goddess of the arts and learning. So of instruments, of all that refined artistic expression. Um, and so before they play their instrument, they do puja to their instrument. They worship their instrument. They understand it's a living being. They will bow down to the stage that they're going to dance on. So they become, therefore, it's like you can see it sort of say going into a trance-like state of, okay, I'm now surrendering to the energy that you are, and you're going to express yourself through me.
Incubator of creativity, the incubator of
Yes, and the ego has to step aside, right?
the Shakti rising.
Yes, it's being in communion with that. It's a different state of awareness completely. And you can do stuff in that state that you normally can't do if you're just, right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you feel it when you're in a space. I've been in concerts with classical artists, and it feels the whole field. It's just even the way that you're able to hear things. It's a sound, and you wonder, how could a human make that sound?
Yeah, music. I mean, music for different moods. Like when you're a little pouty and you need a little pick me up, music.
Hmm.
I've worked with thousands of artists, and I when I see them like make marks, a visual mark, and
Mm.
when I see the sparkles, I'm like they're in the magic.
Yes. So
They're
you can
bringing
perceive it, right?
yeah. I that spectrum is there for me, and they are bringing the unseen to the scene.
Yes. Yes. They're like the translators, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
they allow us to, who are not maybe at that frequency of perception, to still touch it. Like you go and you listen to Mozart, or you're like, how did this person or somebody who's creating it, you can feel it
Yeah, you can. You can.
or see it. It depends on, right, how your organs of perception can do it, but they're able to translate it into a language that the rest of us who may be less aware uh, can connect with.
Well, yeah, especially if we're not in, yeah. just different experiences will bring on a different recipe, all of those frequencies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Right on. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So before we go, I thought it'd be great to do a creative exercise. And I have been in somatic therapy for years, and my practitioner was like, "Well, one of the exercises that she had me do, a creative exercise, was to journal with my left hand."
Mhm.
And I was like, up to the challenge, like, sure, why not? What's one more thing? Um, that was a trip. And
Mhm.
so I know you've done some really fun creative exercises. So can you give us a creative exercise as we
Yes.
come to a close?
Anybody who's done a workshop with me will know that I have them do this every time. So
What is it?
do it with different themes, but it's something that you can just do on the go.
Okay.
If you need 5 minutes, so you're going to need a piece of paper
Okay.
and a pen. If you have the luxury of having colored pens or a variety, you can do that. And you can first start by just doodling with your dominant hand. Like just
Okay.
start by letting if you're right-handed, you're going to use your right hand and you just let it move. See what it's like, not to think, but just let your hand begin to move.
Okay.
Time yourself a minute. You flip the piece of paper over and you're now going to do it with your non-dominant hand.
Okay. Step one, doodle with your dominant hand. Go for a minute. Go for what feels good.
And really
Step.
just let it move.
Okay.
You're not trying to make any particular shape. You're trying to allow your body to move without your mind telling it what's right or wrong.
Connect in
Yes.
outside the logic, outside this
And trust
linear
your body.
path.
Just let your body be the body. Let the energy move through it. Let the prana move your hand, right? Arm. And then you're going to do it on another piece of paper on the opposite side, whatever you like, with your non-dominant hand
Okay.
in the same way. And so you're going to let your hand move. And you can time yourself a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and see, just don't stop moving. Just keep it going. And if you want an extra element of challenge, close your eyes as you do it
Okay. All right.
and see what happens.
I'm ready to go do my exercise.